Let's do car news of the week in however many minutes it takes me to finish this. The first piece of news involves the Audi R8. The first production rear-wheel drive Audi was actually the R8 RWS, which was a limited run. But for this refreshed, mid-cycle refresh R8, they're now making it a standard model. You can just buy a rear-wheel drive Audi. And to commemorate this, they're bringing out the 2021 R8 Panther edition. What does the Panther refer to? Well, Audi exclusive Panther Black crystal effect paint on the outside. For the US market only, they will be building 30 of these cars. Other things that you get with the Panther edition: special 20-inch milled wheels with matte black finish and red accents on it. On the inside, Audi exclusive racing seats with crimson red Napa leather. The rest of the interior is black with red cross stitching. You have Alcantara headliner that's diamond quilted, Alcantara steering wheel, more Audi exclusive, which usually just means more expensive. On the outside, blacked out badges, the full carbon exterior and interior packs, so the carbon side blades, carbon engine bay, sport exhaust, regular V10 output, the 5.2 power output of 532 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. It also looks like the other rear-wheel drive features made it over the changes to make it feel a bit sportier, stiffer front anti-roll bar. The price for these limited 30 edition vehicles is going to be $183,300. That's the MSRP. That's definitely going to be more expensive than the regular rear-wheel drive Audis because the R8 RWS actually sat on the lower tier of the pricing lineup of the new R8s. But standard rear-wheel drive available R8 with this limited production run to launch it. Moving on to something that's a little more technical, a little more nerdy, but something I'm really excited about. Porsche is working on this eFuel. So they've partnered with Siemens Energy and some other international companies to create what they're calling a synthetic carbon neutral gasoline. This is a big deal because as you know, everything is moving towards electrification. Automakers are making more electric cars, states and governments and countries are starting to mandate electrification, potentially banning the sale of gasoline engines, and that makes me sad because internal combustion is just more fun. And there's infrastructure challenges. You can't just flip a switch and make everything electric. There's tons of cars out there, fleets of cars that are still internal combustion engines. You have the whole fueling system, all of that infrastructure too. So Porsche is working on another potential alternative solution to this, which is definitely applicable to them. At the super high level, we're gonna dumb down the chemistry, go way back to basic chemistry. What they're doing to generate green hydrogen is use renewable energy. This first pilot plant's down in Chile, which has abundant wind resources. So they're using, all right, I'm gonna look at my notes now because this is pretty technical and I don't remember much from AP chemistry years and years ago. They're using wind power to disassociate water into its two core components. Water turns into hydrogen and oxygen. And then you filter CO2 out of the air and you combine it with that disassociated hydrogen to form synthetic methanol. Then you use this renewable methanol with a patented methanol to gasoline technology, MTG, which is licensed from ExxonMobil, to end up with a carbon neutral synthetic fuel. You end up with this synthetic gasoline, which you can just put in whatever internal combustion engine. You can put in your brand new 911, you can put in your classic 993, it will work. This is really, really cool. It is a small pilot program. Porsche is investing roughly 20 million euros, which is about $24 million into it, and they plan to get to about 130 liters by 2022, and Porsche will use it in their motorsports fleet at their Porsche Experience Center. And obviously, if it works, they will continue to scale this model with renewable resources, whether it's water or hydropower, whatever it's called, solar, wind, to create more carbon neutral synthetic fuels. I think this would be really awesome and hopefully allow the internal combustion engine to continue on for longer. The production volumes aren't going to be able to completely support even an entire country's demand for it. But again, it's a pilot program. If it works, they could scale it, hopefully. Moving on to an electric car. Get ready for a very long car name, the Ford Mustang Mach E GT Performance Edition. Bit of news from Ford. It will be the highest power and quickest of the electric crossovers coming from Ford, the Mach E. 480 horsepower and 634 pound-feet of torque, which results in a 0 to 60 time of a targeted 3.5 seconds, which is pretty quick. This will have a little bit of detriment to the electric range, so EPA estimate of 235 miles, which is about a loss of 15 miles. You get 19-inch front Brembo brakes with red calipers. 19 inches. I had to triple check that number. That's pretty massive brakes up front. 20-inch wheels, standard magnetic ride, exterior badging, more aggressive styling out front. So This is going to be available as a performance package to people who have ordered the regular Mach E GT. It's going to cost a little bit more than the normal starting price of about $60,000. Currently have this like theoretical love-hate relationship with the Mach E, this pure electric crossover. I'm going to wait to have final judgment till I hopefully get to drive one next year, but this Mach E GT Performance Edition will be the quickest of them. Next up, we have the most powerful production AMG V8 that will soon be on the road, the AMG GT Black Series. And the news is they have announced the price. Twin-turbo flat-plane crank V8 making 720 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds with a top speed of 202 miles an hour, and a base price starting at $325,000. That is a lot of dollars, but this AMG GT Black Series is all about the track capabilities. It really looks like the GT3 race car on the road. Just look at the crazy aggressive rear wing. You get carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber roof, carbon fiber front fenders, and obviously all of that horsepower. It set a Nürburgring lap record of 6 minutes and 43 seconds for production cars, beating the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. I'm actually really interested to see what the Huracan STO will be able to do, another pretty much GT3 race car for the road. It's down on a lot of power though, but I'm sure it's plenty aggressive and will be very fast. This Black Series uses, like I said, a ton of race car parts, the larger cooling air intake up front, various suspension components. Next year, early next year, we'll start seeing these AMG GT Black Series as the top tier of the AMG GT lineup. I absolutely hope I get to drive one at some point because out of all the cars I've driven, one of my favorite in the entire world is the SLS Black Series, which came out at a similarly high price and has definitely gone up in value. The GT Black Series is definitely going to be faster, more aggressive, more capable. I'm really curious to see which one I'd rather like, the conventional naturally aspirated V8 that's found in the SLS or this new twin turbo crazy track monster. It's a lot of money, 325 grand. So if you want to get one, you got to have a lot of money in savings. The last piece of news involves the Jaguar FPace SVR. The FPace SVR has gotten an update. So it's the same 550 horsepower, but a whole 14 more pound-feet of torque. At no point when driving the SVR did I feel like it was down on power. That car sounds so good with that 5-liter supercharged V8. Love the way it sounds. So now it's 550 and 516 pound-feet of torque, which yields a 2-mile-an-hour increase in top speed. Highly important. Now 178 miles an hour. But the more important thing is 0 to 60 has dropped to 3.8 seconds. Combined the torque increase also combined with a new dynamic launch control, which I think launch control probably contributes that more so to the 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. You get exterior and interior changes. Up front, the fascia has been restyled. It looks a lot more aggressive, and it's also functional. The functional front end styling reduces lift by 35% and lowers drag. On the inside, a lot of new materials, a brand new 11.4-inch touchscreen, more leather, Alcantara, aluminum with optional carbon fiber on the inside, keeping it nice and updated to make it competitive. The SVR, it's a fun vehicle. It sounds so good. It looks good. It's quite fun to drive. So these updates are definitely welcome. And with that, we shall end Car News of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned at least something. Thanks for all the support.